Hey everyone, I'm Benny and welcome to my comprehensive photo editing tutorial. Today I'm excited to start a brand new series where I take you through my complete process of editing a photo. So over the next 4 videos, I'll walk you through my entire process for creating stunning photos that can be turned into a signature look. Going through the entire process in detail can span across a very long time, and that is why it will be broken down into 4 videos. We'll cover everything from color correction and grays to some old school retouching techniques. You'll learn all the tips and techniques I use to achieve my look. So let's dive right into the first part, which is color correction and the base look. So I'm just going to keep it short and concise here in Lightroom, and we'll be focusing on setting up our base look for our photo. A base look is the foundation of our edit. It's where we are going to establish the overall tone, the contrast, and the color balance of our image. Unlike color correction, which aims to fix technical issues, a base look is all about creating the aesthetic that aligns with our vision. We are jumping right into this photo. I picked this because it offers a great range of tones and colors we are actually not seeing just yet. This will also allow us to really explore the potential of a base look. At the end, we should be able to create a varied lighting and also understand what color separation is. Also, there are elements in the photo that will help us demonstrate how a well-crafted base can transform our image, as well as challenges it provides. We'll go through a number of ways and techniques to solve them as we go. So with that said, let's get started with our first step in creating a compelling base look. Here is our photo, and I'm just gonna jump right into our base tab and go into my profiles. These are my favorite tones. I've been using all these while. They come in 4 different types, the Cine 1 all the way to Cine 4. I'll have a separate video later to let you all in on what these are, but for now, I'm just gonna choose Cine 3. Now, Cine 3 comes in very warm and dark across the board, so I wanna create some separation by playing with the temperature sliders and the tint over here. So I'll introduce a bit of coolness to the image. Now you can see that we are actually breaking up the whole warmness of the photo and creating some sort of separation using the coolness of the tones. Right, may back it up a little bit all the way here, not too much. Then I'll go to my tint. If you actually see all my photos, there's this greenish tint tones across the whole image, and I like to introduce that over here by backing it up into the greenish side a little bit. Somewhere around here is okay. Since we are not going in for a beauty look or anything of that sort, I think we'll pack it around here. Now there's separation between our subject and now our background. Unlike before, if I should show you you can see that there is no separation with the background. It's just one flat image across. Even though we can see her skin tone and everything, it's just one flat image. But from what we just did, you can see there's a bit of separation now that we can actually use when we head back into Photoshop. Alright, so I'm just gonna open my shadows up a little bit just to get some details out. Here's okay, I'll pack it around here. And I'm also gonna play with my dehaze a bit. Right? Somewhere around here is okay. I'm not looking to overdo anything. I just wanna maintain what is straight out of camera. You know, the highlights are okay, the shadows are also okay, not too crushing, and it's not clipping. We are able to see some textures in there. Highlights too as well. The shadows are okay, so I'm just going to maintain what we already have. Then I'm going to go into my tone curve, and I'm going to lift up my blacks a little bit. Right, let's push it back up a little bit. I think here's okay. Then I'm going to bring my highlights just down a little bit, not too much. Right, this is okay. I want to keep them very flat and soft. I like the way it's looking now. Let's go back to our basic panel and open up our shadows a little bit more. Let's see what contrast is going to add to our image. I don't want to overdo it because when we get into dodging and burning, I like to control how much I add and not leave it to what contrast and all these other tools does for now. We'll head back into Lightroom again to further deal with that, but for now, I'll just add a little bit of contrast to it. I think this is looking fine. We are setting the base look, not doing a gray, so I don't want to touch on all these other things. If the colors in here are not working, that is when I'm going to go into the color mixer and just try to get something that is close to what I really like. But I'm beginning to like the colors that I'm getting from the lips. The clothes are just fine, especially the background, okay? With what we did with the tint and the temperature sliders, we are able to separate the subject from the background, and this will be huge in creating our look. So I think for now, Let's see what else we can actually add. I'm not gonna do anything with color grading, but I think I can play with the luminance channel of the shadows a bit. Let's see what we get. If I shift it all the way to the right side, the image becomes flatter. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to back it down a little bit. Even though I've lifted it up in the basic panel, I just want to bring it down a little bit here. All right. The algorithm here is much more flexible, and I think the gradients from shadow all the way to highlights is more smooth, in my opinion, as compared to you just breaking it up here. Okay, these are like very linear, but if you do it in here, it's kind of smooth across the board. So we can play with it a little bit, just make sure it is moving and flowing well. I like to zoom in again to see what I'm actually doing. I've lifted it up. I just want to see if there's enough detail in there that I can still keep and not crush my blacks too much. There are times I'll crush it, but since we're creating a base look, we're actually going in for something that at least looks nice and not very contrasty. Good. So let's do the highlights. I don't think it's necessary for us to do anything to the highlights now, so I'll back off. Let's go back into the basic panel and let's check to see. I think for now I like what I'm seeing. Let me open up the lens correction. Because of vignetting that the camera actually captures using the type of lenses, sometimes when we enable profile corrections, it can clean up some of these vignetting we are having. In here, I think this was shot with a Canon lens, right? So we can just pop it up in there like that, and if I go before and after, it's able to handle it well, but I don't like the compression it's giving it now. Okay. We are losing a lot to it, and it's not worth it. I'm just gonna back off. So I think I'm gonna pack it around here. I'm not gonna do anything in calibration just yet. I'll come back later. But for now, I think we've created a very compelling look that we can actually play with later and actually grade it into something that really looks nice. If we left it up with just this, then we'll be leaning towards the beauty retouching side, and that is not what we're actually going for. I love to add a little bit of like life to my images and not just keep them clean as before. So that's it for establishing our base look. In the next video, we'll be taking our edit into Photoshop for some detail cleanup and dodging and burning techniques. I hope you don't miss it. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next part. I'm actually gonna ping the next video in the description and also in the title cards up there. So in case you wanna follow along and go to the next step, it will be in the description below so you can check them out. All right, see you in the next one.